No, I was sitting in the back, and that's why I got a better look at him. Because as he was shooting, it was such a shock. I was just standing there. I couldn't believe. I thought it was something like a toy gun with blinks or something.
Was he down the front or in the middle of the
But
congregation?
after he shot, I seen some people falling. Then I knew. I said, yeah, he's shooting for real. Then this gentleman says, fall to the floor, and I fell and started crying. Everyone started falling and crawling.
Where was he located?
He was located on the right side of the pulpit.
He went directly to the front of the church?
No, he stood up and just started shooting.
He was sitting down there
He
in
was
the front.
sitting, that's right, and he just stood up and started shooting.
Did he shoot up toward the choir? And
He
the
was shooting
preacher?
everywhere. He was shooting like this.
All
He just
around.
shooting like that.
Where was Mr. King seated?
Yeah. Just an unspeakable tragedy. When I heard about it, I came immediately. It's almost as if the King family is being tested. I've never seen a family suffer so much tragedy in my life. The city loves that family. This nation loves that family. And what we want to do now is to try to comfort them and the family of Deacon Boykin and the families of the others who have been injured.
The death and assassination of Alberta King, an injustice in the black community. Alberta Christine King, born September 13, 1904, was an American civil rights organizer best known as the mother of Martin Luther King Jr. and as the wife of Martin Luther King Sr. She was the choir director of Ebenezer Baptist Church. She was shot and killed in the church by 23-year-old black Hebrew Israelite Marcus Wayne Chenault, 6 years after the assassination of her eldest son, Martin Luther King Jr. One might ask, who is Marcus Wayne Chenault? Marcus Wayne Chenault was born June 30th, 1951 in Winchester, Kentucky. Raised in Dayton, Ohio, up until 1967, he enjoyed the church, but began to question different things in the Bible. He was described as a good student in Dayton Roth High School. In 1969, he was accepted into Ohio State University. This marked a change in his demeanor. Described as quiet and studious by peers, he began to interpret religion differently from others. He resented preachers in churches, calling them preachers in Cadillacs, and also claimed that parts of the New Testament of the Bible was false. His religious ideals came from his teacher, Hananiah Israel, which he met at Ohio State University. They met 8 months before the assassination of Alberta King. He began attending classes under Hananiah's instruction which labeled civil activists and church leaders evil and denounced the teachings of Christianity and other religions. He was described as weird and aloof by classmates at Ohio University. One classmate writes that he was a standout. He would get drunk and start talking about the Bible at different parties around campus. This obviously was a weird thing to do at a party. He attended Ohio State University up until his junior year, where he then dropped out and started to focus on religion. He then started labeling himself a general and started going by his own teachings. He's also started calling himself the servant of Jacob, or servant Jacob, and putting 5-star general at his mailbox, which his neighbors took notice to. People close to him also witnessed him saying strange things like he will be famous soon and all over the papers. But for what reason, it was unclear to his family and friends. On Friday, June 28, 1974, Marcus returned home. He was there for a family gathering and to spend time with his loved ones. But unbeknownst to them, he was there for a much nefarious reason. He stole 2 pistols from his father's chest that he would keep on his persons until the assassination. He would then leave home and buy a bus ticket to ATL to pursue his target. After a lengthy bus ride from Ohio to Atlanta, he was picked up by a taxi driver and taken to Ebenezer Baptist Church, where he would ask the cab driver to confirm, is this where the Kings went to church? The cab driver would confirm that this is the church that the Kings went to. He then went to and got a hotel nearby to prepare for his assassination. On June 30th, 1974, this terrible tragedy would occur. While Alberta King was playing the Lord's Prayer on the church organ, Chenault stood up and yelled, "You are serving a false god," and fired his gun at her. Chenault said he shot King because all Christians are my enemies, and claimed that he decided that black ministers were a menace to black people. He said his original target would have been Martin Luther King Sr., but he decided to shoot King's wife instead because she was near him. He also killed one of the church's deacons, Edward Boykin, in the attack and wounded retired school teacher Jimmy Mitchell in the neck. King and Boykin were rushed to the nearby hospital at Grady Memorial Hospital. Officials announced King was barely alive when she arrived at the hospital. Boykin was pronounced dead on arrival. King died shortly after from a gunshot to the right of her head. So one would ask, what happened to Chenault? Chenault was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. The sentence was upheld on appeal. He was later resentenced to life in prison, partially as a result of the King's family opposition to the death penalty. On August 3rd, 1995, he suffered a stroke and was taken to a hospital. On August 19th, he died at age 44 from complications from his stroke. This is a sad reminder of how someone can be influenced to do evil, though they have good intentions. Did Marcus have good intentions? I believe in his heart he did, but he was insane. He let the wrong type of people influence his thinking. Because remember, earlier in his life, he was a church boy, and he enjoyed going to church. But somewhere down the line, he became corrupt, became evil, and started to resent and hate people for the way the world is. He turned that into malice and directed it at an unfortunate soul, Alberta King. What can we learn from this, though? We should learn to love each other, no matter what race, color, creed, or religion we follow. Because killing one another will not do anyone any justice, nor is it morally right. I hope you learned something today. This has been Shark Out of Water with another video. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next video. Peace.